God. The only thing creepier than one mannequin is a few dozen of the damn things. No more mannequins.
Altered item number 52AE analysis, session 2. I will begin by introducing various stimuli to the item. First, a low voltage electric shock. No response. Next, I will introduce heat via a standard Bunsen burner. No response. Next, a series of solutions will be applied, each with a different value on the pH scale, from 0 to 14. No response to any value. Next, I will attempt to communicate. Can you understand me? Can you understand my words? Quack if you can understand my words. No response. This concludes session 2. We'll need time to prepare further tests.
Disappearing ducks. Great.
bring, like, checkers or anything, did you?
Every altered item on your list is now back in the Panopticon, safe and sound.
That's a load off my mind. Missing altered items don't exactly reflect well on me, you know. Did they give you any trouble?
The flamingo pulled me into the astral plane just like the fridge did. That same creature was there.
I was looking over the old activity reports, and multiple items have been displaying much more destructive behavior in the past few weeks. There's some connection there, I bet, but it's a bit above my pay grade.
Well, something to keep an eye on.
And if I have any more runaways, I'll know just who to call.
I guess this is my life now. Do you often see people with abilities like mine?
We have some paranaturally inclined agents at the Bureau. Nothing as impressive as you, though. Of course, we did have your brother here. He got a special cell up top. Darling put his own people in charge. Like I couldn't be trusted. I couldn't even get into the room. In my own Panopticon. I tell you, the way that Darling runs things, there ought to be an investigation. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Don't worry about it. Do you know anything about an object of power called the slide projector?
Doesn't ring a bell, but Trench's chosen few never tell me anything. Not that I'm complaining. The inner circle works non-stop. I'm pretty sure Darling sleeps under his desk. No, thank you. I have a cat to feed.
I hope Blankston's got a pet sitter. Have you ever seen an AWE?
Not out in the field. The AWEs are just altered items doing their thing. The Bureau goes in, locks everything down, and then they bring me back some clock or a gumball machine that made the town blind or something.
Just like an ordinary, with the slide projector. What do you think of Marshall?
Marshall's nice enough. A little too special ops for me. Solves everything with a bullet. Respect and ritual will placate altered items better than any gun.
How's that?
Some people believe altered items are conduits to extra-dimensional forces which require ritualistic worship to be appeased. It's just a theory I heard. I don't know much about it.
I feel like he's a few minutes away from a rant about elder gods and blood rites. I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, like always.
I need the containment protocols for every Man, I never thought I'd be working in the executive sector. Look at me now, Ma.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
Find anything interesting? Do you remember Mr. Tomasi, the head of communications? The hiss he was changed into showed up in containment, near the turntable.
I'll take care of it. That thing's not getting away this time.
I've heard reports about his particular use of language and intonation when repeating the hiss babbling. The biological and behavioral distinctions between different hiss-corrupted individuals is truly fascinating. I wonder if I could categorize the data.
And she's already off on her own thing. I've been seeing these Darling presentations all over. Seems like he enjoys the limelight.
So you noticed, huh? When he recruited me out of college, he actually came to visit. He interrupted my physics course by shouting, not quite, Professor, and then marching down to the front of the class where he proceeded to berate the very idea of laws of thermodynamics. Hey, he's been a showboat all his life.
Darling visited you in college?
Yeah, he read a paper I'd published, came to recruit me for the Bureau. I accepted and then spent years waiting for access to the confidential research that Darling promised me. And whenever I ask about my access level, he just mumbles that it's temporarily postponed and then changes the subject to the effect of entropy on luck.
I wonder who else Darling hid his work from. Marshall? Trench? Have you learned anything about Dylan's condition?
Only that he's definitely hiss, but I guess his chanting made that pretty obvious. You know, interestingly, the words of the hiss incantation have an average length of 4 letters. The most common word used 7 times is want. The next most common are through and time. It's very interesting, don't you think?
I don't care about the words. What about my brother?
Right. Sorry, I got a little off track. Well, strangely, his tissue samples all look healthy, unlike the other hiss I've tested.
That's good news. Right? I wanted to talk to you about the crazy things I can do. My abilities. I get the sense that they're not very usual around here.
Well, usual and unusual aren't really benchmarks at the Bureau, but for some perspective, Director Northmore once used the floppy disk to send a bowling ball 6 yards through the air, and that was considered a huge deal. So compared to that, you are most certainly an outlier.
An outlier. I like the sound of that. I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up. Get back to my work.
I need the containment protocols for every altered item or object of power, audio or video.
I'll send a team to contact Langston to get that information, sir. If yes, why? What do we tell them?
Tell them that the issue you said. So any countermeasures designed.
Just when I thought things were stabilizing, Marshall abandons us. I'm sick of no one telling us what's going on.
Did you see that hiss they marched through here? Why the fuck didn't we put a bullet in that thing's head?
Director's brother. Would you shoot your brother?
That's no one's brother anymore. He's the enemy, plain and simple. What do you know about this Arish guy?
I heard some rangers saying he saved them in maintenance. They were attacked by a new kind of hiss, and Arish got them out.
Apparently the director restored HRA production. They're already getting other survivors.
Great.
hear that the Hiss prisoner they captured is
The thunders distorts you. Happiness comes. White pearls, the yellow, red in the eye. Through a mirror, the inverted.
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him. I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I helped you get a job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way, forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office. Something. And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
You are a worm through time. The thunders.
Maybe I can learn more about the Hiss from him. Can we talk?
I just had an interesting dream.
Shit. That's fascinating, but let's talk about the Hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the Hiss.
Best I'm gonna get.
In my dream, the Hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the Hiss in. Spread the word. At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the Hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around until the whole world was brought together by the Hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. For the record, that will never happen. Not as long as I'm alive.
The thunders distorts you.
Maybe I'm just here to punish myself. Any new dreams you'd like to share, Dylan?
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real. Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
I was in a dark place, and there was a dark man there. His name was Mr. Door, and he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop. In another world, the cop was real. Dor said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there. But he didn't want to help me. He didn't like the idea. What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
Through time, the thunderstorm distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow, red, and blue.
Why haven't we dissected that freak mutation?
The block.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Phaeton sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh?